New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
Let's go. The Knicks beat the Portland Trailblazers 110-99. Julius Randle gives you 22 points, 11 rebounds. Mitchell Robinson chips in with 10 rebounds. RJ Barrett gives you 18 and 7. And Elfrid Payton, yes, the Elfrid Payton game. Elf off the shelf gives you 22 points and 7 rebounds. What's going on? It's Jay Ellis from Knick of Time Show. Here, give you that Knicks talk, just Knick of Time. Celebrating a Knicks win with my man from the pod across the street. It's your man, Alex from Knicks, Jets, etc. Also contributes to Knicks Fan TV and Fansided as a blog writer. Man, how you doing with us? How you doing, sir?
Jay Ellis, what's going on, my man? I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this Knicks win, and it looks like the Knicks are going in the right direction, despite some of the weird coaching decisions that we are going to talk about once the conversation starts going. But tell me, right off the bat, Alex, what did you see in this game? What did you like? What are your takeaways?
I think one of the major takeaways is seeing the starters actually clicking right off the bat. We saw Reggie Bullock, Elfrid Payton, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett all getting into a group early. I think I tweeted this out earlier. They had 75 out of the 110 points, which is what you want to see out of your starters. Because usually once we have all of them starting, we all know that not everyone's clicking. A lot of them struggle. It's usually like heavily relying on RJ Barrett or Julius Randle. But when you get everyone contributing, that makes the game a lot easier. And defense was like probably the most prominent thing that I could take away, especially from the starters too. Like they were walking a lot of people down. We can question a little bit towards the end where they gave some open looks for threes that, where the Blazers could came back in the game. But those are probably the two biggest things. And then, we had IQ and Burks playing very well off the bench as well. I think it was a solid game overall, but definitely the defensive effort and the offense from the starting unit is what the two biggest takeaways that I saw from this game.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. The defense clicked into me in the right spots.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, this is the Portland Trailblazers. They're going to shoot threes. They're one of the top scoring teams in the league, and for some way the Knicks found a way to hold them to under 100 points. So that should tell you something right there. Also, like the Portland Trailblazers, they got off to a fast start. They started off that first quarter clicking. You know what I mean? They were hitting every single shot imaginable. I don't know how many points they scored in the first quarter exactly. I can check right now. But it's 31 points in the first quarter, and the Knicks responded by clamping down on their three-point shooting, and they only end up scoring 20 points in the second quarter. They changed their whole scheme up. They stopped Damian Lillard from pulling up from those deep threes. They were able to rotate quicker to those other shooters like Covington and Trent Jr., who was kind of killing us a lot of those games, and they was able to claw their way back into the game. And that defensive intensity even carried its way into that third quarter where the Portland Trailblazers, they eventually started to cut the lead, but, it took them a while because I think the Knicks went on a 10-0 run kind of in that third quarter as well, like where these guys didn't score. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It was, this game could have easily gone the other way where the Trailblazers just get in there, keep the lead, and they just kept scoring. But, once again, Tom Thibodeau's bread and butter is defense, and this team is buying into the defense. And look, after the first quarter where they scored 31, the most that the Trailblazers scored was 25, and that was in the third quarter.
Right.
Knicks started to come back in the third. They go 31 for 20, come out of the half, go 27 for 25, and then 26 for 23. So, the Knicks offense started to fizzle out a little bit. They made the shots that they needed to make. It wasn't as gangbuster as it was during the second quarter, but their defense is what really, and that's what we're going to see from this team from the rest of the season. The defense is going to carry this team all the way. They're in the top 10 still. They're top 10 defensive rating. 10.
Yeah, I thought it was fake. Ooh, it is not real. Nah. It's real. And you know what? And shout out to, shout out to Mike Verkanoff, because deadass, I only subscribe, right,
Mhm.
to the Atlantic because of Mike, like straight up. But he wrote a piece about, the Knicks defense and it not being, is it a fluke that they're playing defense and how they're playing defense? And he really kind of retracted that. But what he was saying in that piece was the Knicks give up a lot of open threes and he feels like, the Knicks are lucky. And sometimes they're just dodging bullets. But I feel like this game is a good indicator of why the Knicks are not lucky per se, but smart. Because if you look at who was shooting the open threes in the fourth quarter, it wasn't the best 3-point shooter on the team. The Knicks forced Dame to give up the ball. And although, you had Covington and Trent shooting those threes at the end of the game, and, a lot of shots were open, like, those two open threes are different when the game is on the line. Pressure bust pipes. You know what I mean? Like
For
you
sure.
want to take the ball out of the hand of the pressure player. And the Knicks made a concerted effort to do that in the fourth quarter. And that's why, they came away with winning this game.
For sure, absolutely, and you bring out a great point, JL. It's who are you giving the threes to, right? We can even go back all the way to the Boston Celtics, right? When we had who was it, Semi Ojeleye taking threes against us. It's like, sure, give me Semi Ojeleye every day.
Give me that guy.
Three. Yeah, as long as it's not Kemba, as long as it's not like I know Tatum didn't play, but as long as it's not Jaylen Brown, as long as it's not those guys taking threes.
Exactly.
If you're gonna let the other, like if you're giving open threes to guys who are not the best 3-point shooters, that's where you know that your defense is actually being legit because you're stopping the guys that you don't want taking the threes, right? And we see that today. Like they're making like we can even talk about Payton today. Like Payton, like I know everyone gets on Payton, but he did a decent job today guarding Dame and not giving Dame like every single open look. It could have been better, but it was decent enough.
What is Dame?
Yeah, it's Dame. Like I'm not expecting him to lock him down, but you want someone to like make him feel a little uncomfortable, and Payton did that to a certain extent today.
Nah, I definitely agree with you. And listen, Payton today, he was aggressive. He finished with 22 points on the night, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, which, isn't a lot of assists, really. But for, he's playing a lot more off ball. And I will say he passed more today than I'm used to seeing him passing this season, which is saying a lot, because I feel like he's been a little bit of a chucker. But, I'll say this. Today is the team where a guy like Elfrid Payton can get off. Enes Kanter is not really a shot blocker. So, once he gets in the lane, he's able to finish at a much higher clip than usual. Field goal percentage, 52% from the field, which is something nice to see because, he's been struggling at the rim in general. But, now that we're talking about Elfrid Payton, let's talk about something that happened in the game that, Knicks fans, including me, might have had a problem with. And it's the minutes, right? The minutes, the rotations. Because, listen, we all know, we IQ guys, we rooting for Immanuel Quickley. Immanuel Quickley, in my eyes, can win Rookie of the Year. Mm-hmm. The only 2 people stopping him is Elfrid Payton and Tom Thibodeau in my eyes. Like, dead ass. Like,
that's a fact.
If you're looking at Quickley, right? Let's see. Quickly today, 12 points, 4 from 8, 50% from the field, 3 assists, right? Didn't play that many minutes. Did not play many minutes at all. He only played 12 minutes. But he scored 12 points, and shout out to Pod Strickland, the count. He's pretty much scoring a point a minute every damn time he touches the floor.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah, I mean, IQ is just amazing, man. He's honestly the steal of the draft. I want to see him get more minutes. I think, and we've seen, and the thing is, like, it's tough because we've seen him get more minutes. We've seen him get more minutes over than else. We saw him get 30 minutes recently. We've seen him get 25 and start to slowly get there. But then it just comes right back. It just comes right back down. And I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about where he comes in, hits the 3, gets a steal, gets the assist.
Yes.
Next thing you know, Dame comes back in and it's like, Quick, you're out. And you're just like, why?
Why?
Why did we do this? And we can talk about give it to the hot hen who's doing a decent job on Dame today with Elfrid Payton, but I don't know. I like the guy who can shoot.
I like the guy that can shoot too. I like it. And I said this on Knicks Fan TV. I have a problem with Tom. I like Tom as a coach. I love overall passing grade in my mind, right?
For sure.
Best Knicks coach since Mike Woodson. But he plays favorites to me. If Elfrid Payton is having a hot game, he will not take him out. He will leave him in for the full quarter. If today Quickley is starting to scorch, he pulls him. And I think that's a problem. And I do know we won. Ultimately, I got it. We won the game. But the Knicks were stuck at 106 for like 4 hours. We got to 106. It was like around 4 minutes left in the game. The game was close. The Portland Trailblazers, they cut the game to, I believe, 6 points at that point. The Knicks defense held on, but we were having problems scoring. And I kind of felt like IQ should have been there the entire time. Now, I know he got in there a little bit later, and Randall kind of froze him out because he wanted to do his point Randall thing.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that was the wrong time to do that.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, J. Ellis. And it's tough because if this goes the other direction, right? Say we put Payton back in, we lose, then it's all hell breaks loose. We're all on Tibbs and all that type of stuff, but we won. So it's, I get that. I get that Tibbs knows his guys. I get that Tibbs understands how each player plays. I get that he's trying to put the team in the best situation to win, right? All of those are true. Payton had it going today, so it's hard to say that Payton shouldn't have. It's hard to say that Payton shouldn't have been in because he did score 22 points, right? Yeah. It's hard to say that. But I feel like if your offense is not clicking to the sense where you're getting shooting, and this is a team that is just, we need shooting, like you want to create open space, like why do that? You know what I mean? Like I'd rather know that, okay, Quickley's out there so he can actually, guys were guarding him at 30 feet today, which is like double teaming him at 30 feet. So it's like, okay, so you got two guys who are double teaming him. He's actually pretty decent at passing out of the double team. Yes. So then you can just start swinging it, and then you can create even more open space for either RJ or Julius or even Burks, right? To start taking shots. You're like, this is much easier. Why are we putting ourselves into such a difficult situation where we cannot create easy scoring?
I don't know.
And it's like, I get that like Payton was doing a decent job defensively, and shout out to David Zenon for pointing that out, where he said Payton was doing a good job stopping the hammer play where it's like, you have your live action guard, you have your guard going live and forcing a play strong side, cuts baseline, and then you pass it to the weak side, and you have a guy who can be open for three. And Payton was doing that, and you want to stop a team like the Trailblazers who love to do that and try to get open threes. And he was doing a decent job, so that's why it made sense. And you can also that Tibbs wanted Payton on Dame because he was doing a decent job. And Quickley, as good as Quickley is offensively, I know that he's not the best defensively. Like he still has a way to go. Right, he is a rookie and still trying to gauge how to guard like an NBA level defense. So I get that argument.
Yeah, you get it. He just came off a steal. He was
just in rhythm.
It was in rhythm. It just made sense just to keep it going. It's not like he didn't close the game for us last time. It was in Portland and people were still scared and he brought us back almost to win. It's not like that. It didn't happen like last week. I mean, it was there. And like you said, I mean, Alec, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
I get it. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I'll say this too. I get it. It's frustrating. And I also am questioning, is there more to player development that we're not actually seeing, that we just don't get? That's the other part that I get to, that I try to get to. Is it because I get we've seen IQ close games, but I just want to know. I just want to know why the guy who looked like he was about to have it and just go on a tear get pulled. And you saw that he was angry, got pulled out.
Yeah, too. Where he pulled that three from, I'm just it's a wrap. I mean, he's only the 18th best fourth quarter player in the entire NBA. Why would you? That's only, right?
only. So
Only.
it's so frustrating, man.
It's one of the many decisions that puzzle me. But I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna build off of something you said earlier, talking about his passing out the double teams. Right, one player who he seemed to benefit from passing out the double team was Alec Burks today. So Alec Burks had 18 points today, right? Or was it 16? Sorry, 16 points
16,
from
16.
Alec Burks. Yeah, 16 points, 8 rebounds from Alec Burks today. So like these role players, man, these other guys, when a guy has to be double teamed, it just opens the floor for everybody. And I just want to see that with the starting unit. Give Randall some space. That's just all.
I know, man. This is where it really comes down to. You're like, okay, so can we be a modern NBA offense for a hot sec?
We have the pieces now.
Yeah, it's like Tibbs. I'm trying to see something real quick. We have
a four that shoots 39% from three, don't we?
Yeah, which is wild.
We have one of those. We have a guard who can pull out from Dame range, right?
Yo.
We starting to have pieces. Isn't RJ Barrett shooting over 43% from three over his last 12 games? I think we're starting to see something.
We're starting to see something.
We're starting to see. If we play the right places together, I could start to see our offensive rating go from bottom of the league to at least the middle. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But absolutely. And this is where I start to question what is this? Why is Quickley not going in the starting lineup? I said this to I forget. I think it was Fritz online on Twitter. I said this. Shout out to Fritz Alcindor.
Shout out to Fritz, man.
I even say as long as Quickley gets the most minutes, I'm happy. He doesn't even have to start.
Yeah,
doesn't even have to start.
Get the most.
Just give him. Just get the most. Do the Landry Fields treatment that Mike Woodson did to when it was J.R. Smith that he wanted. You get 5 minutes,
right?
Pull him. Go ahead,
exactly.
JR. This is your game,
Boom,
man. This is all for you.
I'm with it now. I'm with you now. If it's an ego thing because you're scared of hurting Elfrid's ego, fine.
Yeah, fine. But then it's I come back to question player development and just wondering are we trying to see Tibbs make sure that IQ is truly earning it and just is it to make sure he has that passion to still continuously want to keep getting better and do all those things. I'm trying to figure out what is behind the scenes that we're not seeing,
right. Or is it really just a trust thing?
Yeah, or is it really just a trust thing? That's where I start to question because we can talk about what keeps a player motivated and start getting to the whole mental aspect of the game, right? That I think sometimes gets a little overlooked of players need to know that they're going for something. And as a rookie, maybe if you give it to him, because I'm sure Quickley knows that look, he's not blind. He's look, I know I'm a better shooter than this guy. I know offenses in the NBA need shooting to create floor spacing for better scoring.
He does. I'm sure he does.
I'm sure he is aware of that 100%. I'm sure he knows that he does that better than Payton 100%. I think what it comes down to this point is for Tibbs, it's and this is what I'm thinking. It's is he thinking that, okay, to keep this guy motivated and if I give him the starting spot, that it's that he then feels like he's achieved something and that it's it stops something? Or
you think it's a mind game? You think he's doing this Phil Jackson Jedi mind trick type of jam?
And I'm not saying that Quickley is that type of person who needs it, but I'm just thinking as a coach is that what you're trying to do? Or is this are you trying to create an expectation of saying look,
what? I almost feel
it
might be the reverse at this point, yo. I almost feel it's a foregone conclusion that Quickley is better and he's doing it to Jedi mind trick Payton. I think that might be it, to keep him engaged, to keep his confidence up, because it's just so clear that this guy is just going to take your spot. It's super clear.
My God.
I think that it might be the reverse.
If that's the case, please pull this plug. Just pull it. I don't need this. Do not need it. This is not. Yeah, just pull that plug.
Oh man.
That's how I feel.
Let's switch to something happier. All right, let's switch to something happier. RJ Mother Barrett, man. Man. Hashtag 9God. Hashtag Bully Barrett. Hashtag Bodmon Barrett. Everybody, all RJ Barrett bowled out today with 18.7 rebounds once again. Here's the thing that I've been saying about RJ Barrett for the last few weeks. They've been starting him out as a playmaker recently. Only doing playmaking spurts in the beginning of the first, beginning of the third. Recently, those spurts have been more elongated, and it seems like he's running the offense more and more and looking pretty comfortable. Today, just like how they were trapping Quickley, RJ Barrett was seeing traps today, and I was getting flashbacks of watching him in Duke when he was getting trapped at the top of the key, and he was able to find Mitch for open layups in the double team, and it was just nice to see. It's like, oh yes, the RJ passing is still there, and on top of that, the shooting is there too. 2 for 2 from the three, and the mid range is. It's beautiful. He's not going to the rim only anymore. He's mixing it up, man. What do you think about RJ Barrett's game today, though?
I love it, man. I remember this. I feel like this is going to be the running theme throughout the rest of the season. Is the G League RJ Barrett, just crazy nonsense. Like that was. It's like, what are we even doing, man? The kid's in a slump. Like we just see that watching it, like you and I, like, and most of us out there, like if you watch the game day in and day out from like what RJ was doing, like we saw it was 3 and drive, and it's like, dude, you have to do way more than that. That is way too predictable. Like people are just waiting for you at the rim, and people are waiting for you to shoot the 3.
Right.
Once he incorporated his mid-range game where he's comfortable, it's like everything opened, and it's beautiful. I wanted him to do this. So like, this is his game, and I think the one thing that really bothered me where people were like, he should be taking more threes, or he really has to get more efficient from 3. It's like, why does he have to get more efficient? Like I get the getting more efficient from 3. I shouldn't say that. More prolific 3-point shooter, like just high volume 3-point shooting. And it's like, why does he have to do that? Like what? Like I don't need him to be James Harden to be able to in that sense where it's like, okay, we can shoot like 8 threes a game. I'm going to hit like half of them. Like, if he can get to that at some point, great. That's not his game right now. That's just not it. And even so, like there's a lot of guys around the league who still incorporate the mid range, which I think he should incorporate in his game. That is so deadly. Like we look at Kawhi Leonard, you look at Paul George, you look at Devin Booker, you look at CJ McCollum, even Dame, Steph Curry. I know he doesn't do it a lot, but Steph Curry is a lethal mid-range shooter. Guys who can shoot the mid-range, those are the guys that are deadly, because at that point, you don't know where they're going to go. Being a 3-level scorer is the most effective score there is. Guys, like asking RJ just to be a guy who can shoot from 3 and then just take it, you're just limiting him to be a 3-and-D player. And that's not what that's not what a foundational piece does. Foundational piece can score at all 3 phases of on the offensive side, as well as play top level defense. And right now, what we're seeing from him is that we can rely on him on a nightly basis to get us at least 18 points. And that's what I love it. And his free throw shooting, 70%, man. Everything about RJ, it's like I loved the draft. I loved him when he was our pick last year. I was like, this kid's just gonna be good. You just saw it. He has the pedigree. His father was a baller. Steve Nash is his godfather. And even at I chose him as my most improved when I was on Knicks Fan TV, because I just saw like when he was talking about getting snubbed from
the media, he had the snarl on his face then. He's like, and
you just saw it. He was like, I'm going to show you guys that you made the wrong choice. And I was like, that kid's about to do it. This kid, I'm like, he's going to be just fine. He's going to be just fine. He's just fine. He's more than just fine. Him and Julius are 2 pieces that you can rely on a nightly basis, which is just beautiful.
It's interesting. I'm not used to this type of success, Alex.
Neither am I. I honestly don't know what to do with my hands.
It's been a while since we went, okay, I can expect A, B, and C from these guys on a nightly basis. And that's what I'm starting to see. And it just makes you think. All right, we put a piece here, put a speed there. We're like, we can actually have a complete team for once, and a complete young team at that, which is something that we all want, because the complete young team will be able to complete for years and years to come. So, man, I love. I'm giving RJ all the credit for changing up his game, blocking out all the noise, and just continuing to mid-range these months to death. Even in the pull-up, even in the fast break, when the first play of the game, when he stole the ball and pulled up at the mid-range, and I was like, "Ooh, that boy good." It was like, yes, I love it.
His baseline fadeaways too.
It's coming, man.
It is, dude. And it's not even like it was. Don't think he had one this game, but it was definitely against the Bulls, and I was like, "Oh my goodness gracious!"
Yeah.
I was like, my heart, I'm done. Like,
wow. Year two. It's year two out. It's year two, man.
Year two, and he's only 20.
He's only 20. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted Ja Morant. I was sad. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted Ja.
Yeah, I wanted Ja, but RJ's good to be just fine.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
especially now that we have Quickley too. It's easing my mind that we got RJ. Yeah.
For sure, and like we're seeing that we may even have more than just 2-3 pieces. Like right now, like I would put as the pieces that I know like that I could see for our future is like you have to include Julius Randle, because just how he's like as of right now, I don't know what's going to happen after next year, but for like the short term future, definitely for now and next year. And that's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for these next 2 years. You got to include Julius Randle. You got to include RJ, Mitch, and Quickley. But if you want to, if you're not sure on Julius yet, I know trade talks are out there and stuff like that, and we got to figure out what's going to happen with him. It's definitely Mitch, IQ, and RJ right now that you can just be like, we got something. And Obi, I'm still sure on Obi will be a fine pick, but he's still a TBD just because we still need to see more out of him at this point.
I feel you on that. I definitely feel you on that. With the you seen my stance. You seen my stance on Randall. My stance at this point is all options are on the table. That's my stance right now. My stance is not extend him, pick up his option at the end of this year.
Right.
Next season, all options are on the table. Meaning keeping him is on the table, trading him is on the table. All options are just on the table. Because at the end of the day, he's not 30 something. He's 26. He's still prime. So it can still work out for us. And even though I don't know, we have to figure out what we're gonna do with Obi and how hopefully he gets more minutes. We need to fix that as well because he only got 9 minutes today from Tom. But I still like what Randall is, and it's not an easy decision for sure. It's not.
It's not. But as you always say, like this is a fine problem to have when you have a lot of good players. Having good players,
talent.
It's a good problem to have. It's a good problem.
Mad Obi's not getting minutes, and I understand because I want him more minutes too, and I think Tibbs can make some adjustments to get him more minutes. But having talent is not a bad thing because even if we do have talent, you always flip it for more talent. You can't flip. You can't flip right now. You can't flip DSJ for more talent.
Can't. You cannot.
You cannot.
Or even like, let's be real. Like we couldn't flip. Like if you wanted to flip Kevin Knox last season, you could not flip Kevin Knox last season for anything. It's like what, a second round, if that.
Exactly. So even though it sucks, you need to have something of value to get something of value back. So it's still a good problem to have. But overall great game for the Knicks, man. We killed it. We got the win. 50 points in the paint. Because that's how no interior defense for the Blazers was able to take advantage of that. Knicks come up with the win. And you're sixth straight. We're sixth place right now in the East. So it's looking like I don't know. People were jumping out the window with the P word before. The window might be ajar again. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
We're on a good pace right now. I think with the way we ended the first quarter of the season after 20 some odd games, it was like on a 32-36 win game pace. So I'll take it. I was not expecting this, and that could be a playing game. That could even be top 8 like in the Eastern Conference too for a playoff. So we'll see. We're going to see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Exactly. We will see what happens. Knicks revenge game. I expected to win this game because that's what we do. We make adjustments and we win. But we played the Miami Heat next. Predictions to that game? Win, lose? What are you thinking, Alex?
I'm thinking we're going to win that game. I know Jimmy Butler just came back, but I still think they still got to try and gel and figure everything out. And Miami is traveling at this point, so we'll see. I think I got faith. I think it's going to be a close one. I think the Knicks pull this one out. That's what I got for tomorrow. Cool.
I'm 50-50 on that. I expected to win this Portland game, as I told you before. I'm 50-50 on this game. The back-to-back worries me. But you know what? I'm going to go optimistic, and I'm going to say Knicks going to win this game. I'm going to keep it that way. All right? Two-game winning streak. Let's get back to 500 and get to this W, man. Are going to be in fifth place? Who knows? I don't know what the standings are right now. But maybe that'll be something. Yeah, take that, Dame. Dame said we was a fluke. Dame said we was going to be 8th place forever. I heard you on the Joe Budden pod. I listened to the show. Joe Budden, please, unblock me, please. I'm your fan. Unblock me, bro. Unblock me.
Do it, Joe Budden. Unblock this man.
Rory. Maul. All right. That is our show. I hope you enjoyed some of this Knicks talk, man. Yo, Alex, where can they find you, bro?
Jay Ellis, thank you for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure getting to talk Knicks with you, man. I love the work that you do.
Appreciate it.
For everyone out there, you can find me on Twitter at Tratacaster101. You can also find some of my work. You can find me on my podcast at Knicks, Jets, etc. We talk about Knicks and the Jets and whatever else, man. That's the whole point of the etc. On top of that, you can find some of my writing over at KnicksFanTV.com, and you can also find my other writing at Hoops Habit, where I cover the Knicks there as well.
All right. And you know where to find us, man. Find us on all audio platforms, that is SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. Also find us on YouTube.com/ThickTimeShow, because you're probably watching that on there right now. If you want to see the visuals. And, definitely check out the blog at ThickTimeShow.com. Shout out to my writers, shout out to the writers over there. Ken, Rob, Mikey. I keep forgetting all the names, but it comes back. Fritz. Shout out to all you guys who contribute. And yeah, also check out the merch, man. Check out the merch. I got the RJ Maple. Okay, I got the RJ. Yeah, gotta represent. I got more RJ shirts coming too if I actually make them. All right. That is our show. We out of here. Peace.
New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.